Welcome to episode 51 of Rebirth Revolution. My name is Melissa Olson. Empathy is a word that plays a huge part in the Rebirth Revolution. It's our ability to care what happens to others. It's the element that is missing in all the chaos and turmoil that we find ourselves in today. There is a direct correlation between how much we care what happens to others and what we expect and accept for ourselves. The connection between what we feel for others and for ourselves cannot be broken or stretched to where we feel for ourselves at the level of spiritual awareness of a 10th grader and feel for others at a 2nd grade level of spiritual awareness. The two will always be the same grade level. They are two sides of the same coin. The question I have is, are we denying ourselves a better life because we are focused on not wanting others to have a better life? Let's approach this challenge from the angle of what we expect and accept for ourselves. I think it's safe to say that everyone wants pretty much the same thing. We all want to live a life that contains meaning and love and security. We want to learn about how the world works and find the path to our participation. We want to do work that has purpose. We want to know that we will have a roof over our head and food to eat. We want to be healthy and whole. We want to be able to dedicate ourselves to loving and supporting the people in our lives. These are pretty basic human needs. During the pandemic, we have had the opportunity to review our work-life balance and see anew the work of those who add value to our lives who we may not have previously given enough credit. Many of the tasks that were performed by others or accomplished simply are now requiring our full attention. We have the opportunity to see our lives in their entirety as we sit and wait for a plan to deal with the virus so we can rebuild what has been lost. Suddenly, millions of Americans lost their source of employment and the health care that went along with it. Suddenly, the entire world of education shifted to deal with the new realities. Turns out nothing is what we thought it was. The guardrails we thought we had in place have collapsed. Those who have been taught the rallying cry of capitalism, that they need to hustle and work themselves to the bone to make it in this world, have found that the system doesn't really work the way they thought. Those who were taught that the only thing standing between them and the success they wanted was hard work are seeing their dreams and small businesses go up in smoke, while the billionaires have added more than $500 billion to their net worth in that time. The system is rigged, and one of the ways they can keep it rigged is to convince you that others want something for nothing. They tell you that you should feel disgusted by those who want guaranteed health care and a viable social safety net. And it's not just a thought they're having. They are in court trying to strip people of their health care, and they have vowed to stop collecting the source that pays for Social Security benefits. Is the desire to not see strangers get something you stress about enough to support the current arrangement? For so long, we have stressed about health care and stressed about having a health emergency that will wipe us out. We have stressed about getting good educations for our children without leaving them in lifelong debt. We have worried about emergencies that may come up that we would not be able to handle because the very basics in life take most of the money we can generate. It is stressful and leads to a life where you can't bring the energy and focus to the most important issues, like spending time with your families. People who have to work multiple jobs in an attempt to keep the basics do not have the hours in the day to do the nurturing and supporting of their families that is the core desire that drives them. We see the damage that does to all involved. It may seem unrealistic and pie in the sky to imagine a different work-life balance, but this is not imaginary in other countries. It is being done, and the results are measurable. The countries that recognize basic human needs and work those into their societal structure are consistently shown to be the countries where people are the happiest and the healthiest. The happiest countries, many of them Scandinavian, set up their society with an understanding that a strong social safety net is what allows people to focus more on their families and their work. They have set up their societies in a way that provides for all of their citizens financial security, health care, excellent education systems, and family support, like family leave and daycare. They take all of the stressful issues off the table so people can spend their time doing what matters instead of living in constant fear that they will fall through the cracks. Of course, this means that they pay higher taxes, but it doesn't stop them from becoming rich. The dog-eat-dog form of capitalism we live in produces the most billionaires, but the Scandinavian countries also have billionaires. Sweden has a person who has amassed a net worth of over $15 billion, and Norway's biggest earner made $6 billion. In contrast, Jeff Bezos has almost $200 billion, and that's after giving his ex-wife $36 billion. Raw-knuckled capitalism in the United States has produced a number of obscenely rich people, but that hasn't made us more stable or any happier. In the 2020 rankings of the happiest countries in the world, a measurement of well-being, the top-rated countries are number 1, Finland, number 2, Denmark, number 3, Switzerland, number 4, Iceland, number 5, Norway, 6 is the Netherlands, 7, Sweden, 8, New Zealand, 9, Austria, 10, Luxembourg. The United States comes in at number 18 on the list of happiest countries. This tells me that we can have more than we expect and accept now. According to Forbes, the United States has 614 billionaires. By contrast, Finland has 6. Denmark has 8. Switzerland has 35. All I'm saying here is that this is the perfect time for us as a country to decide what our values are and to use those values to reconstruct our society. It's not political, and it isn't even financial. It is spiritual. We are tasked on our spiritual journey to care about and for one another. We are tasked with creating a society that is formed around the principles that we must embrace to reach the highest levels of spiritual awareness. The arrangement we currently embrace does not honor honesty. We are not being honest when we suggest that everyone has the same opportunities in life, that the game is not rigged. The arrangement we currently embrace does not honor integrity. The rampant corruption that is fueled by greed and insecurity flies in the face of that. The arrangement we currently embrace does not honor empathy. Our society blames and shames those who are not wealthy and connected. The arrangement does not honor humility. Those who have the most, no matter how they got it, are idolized and celebrated for their swagger and gold toilets. The arrangement does not honor checks and balances, as those at the top can always buy their way out of trouble. The arrangement is not designed to foster love and compassion for ourselves and others, because it makes us fear for our own survival. We can't contribute what we came here to contribute when we are stuck in a place of fear. Without a doubt, the most important task that we take on here in Earth School is the task of raising the next generation. There's nothing we can do that will have a more lasting impact. To do our best work, we must have the time and the clear headspace to bring our best to those we hope to help unfold into their greatest selves. We are responsible for teaching them the principles that will grow them to their highest levels. That is no small deed. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of daily life, to give outsized importance to the mundane tasks, and to forget that this is what we are here to do. Working too many hours so that we can cover the basics is not benefiting the growth of those we love most. We need time together, stress-free time to learn from one another, to facilitate each other's growth. The children that are brought into this world are here not only as students, but also as teachers. If we are rushing from one task on the to-do list to the next, we can easily miss the wisdom that they came to share with us. While the culture wants to convince us that we need to push our children to become the next big deal, what we really need is to spend our time teaching them to become a person with great character. Teaching your child to be honest, empathetic, open, humble, and ruled by integrity is much more important than teaching them how to excel in sports or any other endeavor. This takes a great deal of time and patience. We don't need our children to be the next billionaires. We need them to possess the intelligence and wisdom to know a con when they see one. We don't need to teach them to be impervious to the suffering of the world. We need them to understand how to give and receive help in a healthy fashion. Our unwillingness to give assistance or to see others receiving assistance is being leveraged against us all. We are being taught that those who take by exploiting the work and time of others are somehow noble, while being exploited makes one weak and disposable. The struggle to accept the responsibility to care for others is equal to the struggle to admit you need help. What if you were able to admit that you need help? What if you didn't accept the premise that those who need help are wrong and bad and weak? If you were able to do that, you could also drop the premise that others who need help are wrong and bad and weak. To reconcile those thoughts and recognize that we have been sold a bill of goods would be a great beginning for the reimagining of how this world could be set up to benefit everyone. It seems clear that the grind we have embraced as our only option may not be netting the results that we were told it would. What would your life look like if you had the time and security to do what you came here to do? And what if a renewed generosity of spirit that leaves you wishing the best for everyone else led to the best also coming to you. Every week brings a new challenge. Who knew that we would be drawn into one battle after another? One of the latest challenges is the dismantling of the U.S. Postal Service. An administration that cannot come up with a coherent plan to deal with a virus that is killing more than 1,000 people a day was able to target, with surgical precision, the post offices in the country where people voted for the Democrat in the last election. They have used that information to disable and destroy sorting machines and collection boxes that will surely come into play when we vote in November. It's outrageous. More people need to vote by mail due to the pandemic, so this becomes the latest avenue for voter suppression. You should be fully aware of how important your vote is based on how hard they are trying to keep you from casting it. Let's face it, our votes are pretty much all we have right now. They are our way to express our desires for the world we want to have after we rebuild from the carnage and chaos of the last few years. And they go beyond that. Our votes will also indicate how we desire to make right the wrongs of the past which are keeping us from getting where we need to go. Our votes are our way to help this country move to a higher level. Your voice is powerful. Your vote is powerful. Start formulating your plan now. Thanks for listening to Rebirth Revolution. It would help out if you'd let others know about the podcast. It's available in all the usual places. If this brings up any questions for you, email us at rebirthrev@gmail.com. Until next week, keep your head held high. Keep your eyes wide open. Let your voice be heard, and wear your mask. Remember, you are loved exactly as much as every other person on the planet, not 1 ounce more or 1 ounce less. Stay strong, open, and most of all, stay safe. We need you in the revolution.